Jonathan Kuminga's contract saga with the Warriors has dragged like an endless overtime. And if you think you're tired of hearing about it, trust me, I'm about to pour every ounce of Dub Nation's restless heartbeat into why this stalled. Drama is more than just whispers and waiting games. Welcome back to Warriors News Fan Report, where raw truths collide with splashy era passion. Smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so your heart never misses a beat. We're 7 weeks deep into a silence that's been louder than a Pats Chase Center when Clay hits a Game 6 dagger or Curry drops a logo level 3. You know, moments that defined and redefined this franchise's soul. But this offseason, it's been the dullest pinball of rumors, with the Kuminga saga as the slow drip bleeding tension into Dub Nation's veins. Here's the kicker. The latest intel came not from some random chatter, but from ESPN's Anthony Slater on NBA Today, who dropped a subtle yet seismic hint: renewed conversations between Kuminga and the Warriors. Not much momentum, sure, but then he peeled back the curtain on Kuminga's real ass. He wants a deal that signals he's a building block, a piece of the future, not just a disposable trade chip. He's leaning toward a 3-year deal, or even one with a player option, a rare stance of wanting stability in a whirlwind business. Now, that alone is a plot twist, because Kuminga's off-season dance hasn't been about the dollars, or at least not in the typical NBA cash grab way. When he seriously entertained rejecting Golden State's 2-year, $45 million offer, and instead contemplated the 1-year, $7.9 million qualifying offer, the narrative seemed clear. He wanted out fast, maybe even yesterday. But Slater's scoop flips that narrative on its head. Kuminga isn't looking for a quick exit or a contract that turns him into a pawn, a card dealt just to be shuffled off. No, he's staking a claim for something bigger, a role where his youth and versatility shape the Warriors' next chapter. Remember, this is the same Kuminga who not long ago openly questioned Steve Kerr's trust, even asking for a trade. So, this evolution isn't just about numbers. It's about respect, identity, and confidence in the vision. Here's where it gets juicy. All offseason, the chess pieces felt like they had only 2 endgames. Either Kuminga gets traded or he signs. A deal that's basically a prelude to a mid-season or off-season trade. Either way, a separation ahead. But this updated intel cracks the door wide open for something more harmonious. Kuminga's raw talent and moonshot potential make him uniquely positioned to be the bridge between the fading Splash core and whatever the post-Curry Warriors era looks like. With the salary cap strangling Golden State locked in by Curry, Draymond Green, and now Jimmy Butler 3, there isn't much wiggle room to snag fresh stars. They need answers in-house, and Kuminga could be that answer if the fit clicks. But, and this is crucial, it's still a high-stakes poker game. If Kuminga's demands stray too far from the Warriors' valuation, the front office could stand firm, letting negotiations spiral or freeze. And if he takes the qualifying offer, that's basically a ticking clock labeled final season in blue and gold, with the Dubs eyeing a trade sooner than later. If he signs something team-friendly, expect his exit likely by February's trade deadline or July's summer swirl. It's a cliffhanger wrapped in contract pages. There's a middle ground, a delicate, electric balance where Kuminga is cherished as a vital cog, maybe not the sanctum sanctorum that Curry, Green, and Butler occupy, but still a crucial piece alongside rising names like Brandon Podziemski. Finding that sweet spot could change everything: rotation depth, defensive versatility, a hedge against future uncertainties. But can they find it? Will the Warriors coax the kid who once doubted Kerr into truly believing in the system that's brought 3 championships in a city's worth of dreams? Can the front office fashion a future where Kuminga sees his path intertwined with the fading glories of this dynasty and the fierce hope of what's next? Because here's the part no one saw coming. This isn't just contract parsing. It's a microcosm of the Warriors' identity crisis, a reflection of the clash between legacy and evolution. It's the echo of "We Believe," the sting of 2016's heartbreak, the stubborn resilience of 2017 to 2019's Durant era, and the gutsy redemption of 2022, all wrapped into one player's crossroads. And as a lifelong Dub Nation believer, my pulse is racing just writing this, because Kuminga's choice, the Warriors' response, it might just be the ignition point that sparks our next title run or the crack that splits our legacy further. So what happens next? Will Kuminga sign on as a cornerstone or bolt for greener pastures? Will the Warriors hold their ground or finally reshuffle the deck? Drop your unfiltered takes in the comments. I'll be right there, heart in hand. The air in San Francisco is thick with a mix of electric anticipation and nerve-wracking uncertainty, the kind of charged atmosphere that only the future of the Golden State Warriors could create at this volatile crossroads. If you're as locked, and as I am for Warriors News Fan Report, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a second of the drama from the Bay to the Chase Center. Because now more than ever, Dub Nation's heart is pounding like Game 7 in the final seconds our championship dreams balance precariously on the razor's edge of what's next. The seismic tremors rumbling through the front office have gone beyond mere whispers. Whispers have become roars. The trade market is buzzing, a chaotic storm swirling around not just the names on our roster, but the very soul of this team's identity. Keen, Looney, Poole, these aren't just players anymore. They're chess pieces in a nuclear game of cap space, draft capital, and the pursuit of keeping this dynasty not just alive but dominant. You start hearing murmurs or maybe outright chatter about seismic trades that could bring in a star piece, and suddenly, every single second that Steve Kerr or Bob Myers can squeeze from the clock feels less like coaching and more like high stakes. Polka dot, what if the move for that world-class wing or a versatile big man finally pushes the Warriors beyond the agonizing what-if of the last 2 seasons? The rotation would need to evolve instantly. The symphony of movement, ball sharing, and relentless defensive switches, the Warriors culture we swear by, can't skip a beat even with new faces. Curry's gravity pulls defenders like a black hole. But can this team's chemistry weather the storm? Imagine the lineup: Curry, Wiggins, the new superstar fitting seamlessly, or fighting for touches and rhythm. Then there's Klay Thompson, still the silent assassin, still the heart of our splash, but can his knees hold through another title run? And young Moses Moody and Patrick Baldwin Jr., the promise bubbling just beneath the surface, how will their arcs shape our narrative? As their minutes ebb and flow, the whispers grow. Who will emerge as the next franchise cornerstone? Who will become the next splash eternally etched into our folklore? Because that's the rub that all dedicated fans feel in their bones right now, a kernel of hope interspersed with dread. Will the young blood rise, or will the weight of expectations crush their potential just as ours was crushed back in 2016 after that crushing finals loss to LeBron's Cavaliers? That heartbreak still lingers like a ghost in the Chase Center rafters, but here's the twist no one saw coming. The possibility that this offseason could birth a Warriors roster that looks unlike any we've seen before. A hybrid mosaic of historic continuity and daring reinvention. What if the move isn't to acquire another proven star, but to shed salary, trim the fat, and pivot entirely toward a leaner, faster brand of Warriors basketball? What if the rampant small ball lineups that teased us with flashes of glory on the run of 15 to 16 suddenly transform into a new age pace and space experiment driven by youth and IQ rather than name recognition? Imagine a lineup where the switching defense that once strangled championship opponents is recalibrated with new weapons guys who can guard 4 positions on a dime, who can move like Klay but protect the paint as Looney did during his zenith. The chess game extends beyond player movement. It's a high-wire balance between cap space now and positioning for 2025 and beyond when Curry, Thompson, and Green enter the twilight of their contracts. Does the front office cling to the fading yet still gold-encrusted core or commit to a harsh rebuild with a Stevens or a Brown type at the bench? Someone who can usher Dub Nation into a new era without the suffocating weight of championship expectations. The ripple effect spreads out like wildfire, igniting debates in barbershops, online forums, and inside the locker room itself. Does Kerr have the patience to endure a season of growing pains for long-term gain? Or is win-now mentality still king in Stephen Curry's world? History screams at us. Remember the Warriors' we believe run that shocked the NBA, igniting hope for an underdog future? Or the 73-9 season, a breathtaking, record-breaking march to the finals that ended in gut-wrenching agony? Those moments evidence both the exuberance and fragility of greatness, and both remain etched deeply in Dub Nation's collective conscience. Are we destined to repeat the story of near misses and rebuild heartbreak? Or is this new chapter the prologue to a championship tale that outshines all others? The power of this franchise's dynasty is in part built on resilience. The way our guys rose from the ashes of injuries and tragedy, epitomized most poignantly in Klay Thompson's grueling journey back from 2 ACL tears and a broken leg, culminating in that blood-pumping Game 6 performance against the Nuggets 2 years ago, where he poured his soul out on every possession. That grit will be tested again, but will it be enough? As we look at the salary cap madness, it's clear that every single dollar spent must yield maximum impact. It's a puzzle complicated further by Poole's contract situation. Does he become the next key ingredient in the new system, the secondary scorer and electric energy we can build around? Or will he be the most enticing asset the front office dangles to reel in a bigger fish? And the rookies, each dribble, each defensive assignment they play this season becomes a referendum on their readiness to be part of a new dynasty or fall into oblivion. The next chapters of their careers feel just as fragile and tentative as a flickering candle in a storm. What kind of leadership will emerge in the locker room? We've long rooted for Draymond to maintain his vocal spark and defensive orchestration. Truly the heartbeat of this team's fight, will he carry the mantle amid shifting roles, or will he face the harsh reality of fading influence as new voices fight for their place? The league is watching too. Rivalries that once felt settled flare up again. LA Clippers scheming, the Lakers nursing unfinished business, the gritty Suns and their relentless contenders smelling blood in the water. This is Warriors basketball's most electrifying era since the Doran days, when felt rivalry translated into on-court warfare nights that stitched unforgettable memories into fans' hearts forever. Yet now, the pressure is heavier, the stakes higher, the unpredictability greater. How will Kerr's tactical wizardry adapt? Will he double down on the defensive switch-heavy schemes that have defined past titles, or innovate with experimental lineups that blend youth speed and veteran savvy? The chessboard is set with pieces moving in rapid fire, with the season's opening tip-off just months away. Every practice, every preseason possession will be scrutinized for clues about the identity of this team in transition. And as we stand on the edge of whatever comes next for Dub Nation, I can't shake the question: are we witnessing the ignition of our next dynasty push, or the fracture that sends it all crashing down? This isn't just about lineups or salary caps. This is the heart, soul, and future of one of basketball's most iconic narratives. Sound off in the comments, Dub Nation. I'll be right there in the thick of it with you, riding every high and every heartbreak, right here on Warriors News Fan Report. Honestly, it feels like we're trapped in that perfect storm between hope and anxiety. Every decision made by the front office, every dribble on the court, carries the weight of a legacy millions of fans have clung to for nearly a decade now. So buckle up, because whatever happens next, this saga will be one for the ages. Our battle cry will echo through history, win or lose.